Yo, so today I want to talk about Ashely Cole and his induction into the Premier League Hall of Fame and how and where Ashely Cole sits amongst the general Arsenal fan. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because Ashely Cole, like me, I'm an Arsenal fan, innit? Everyone knows that. Or most people know that. Or people that know me know that, should I say. And listen, I respect Ashely Cole. I respect everything he's done in the game. I respect everything he's done at Arsenal, and I respect what he's done at Chelsea. I just respect what he's done as a football player. I feel like he is probably one of, if not the best, modern day greatest left backs. But it's a difficult one because there was a post. Obviously, we all know that he was inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame yesterday. And Arsenal posted a tribute to him. Well, they congratulated him in an Instagram post yesterday. And so I was looking through the comments and it's very divided. Most people were unhappy that the club acknowledged him, but there was some that thought, all right, well, what happened. It was 20 years ago, the whole fallout and everything. And I think now we're at a stage where we can appreciate what he's done in football and him being a product of Arsenal Football Club. And it really is, it really divides opinion amongst the fan base. And don't get me wrong, I think the majority of fan base don't really fuck with Ashely Cole like that. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what he's done, he did turn his back on his boyhood club and joined one of our biggest London rivals. Not only were they one of our biggest London rivals, they was title rivals at the time. And part of the reason why Arsenal kind of fell off for a number of years, I mean, we've only recently just been getting back to having a title-winning team. And a part of the reason for that was because we had players like Ashely Cole leave us and join our title rivals. And obviously he's one of many that chose to jump ship. And he was probably he was the first to do that. So, yeah, fans aren't really too thrilled about, I mean, it divides me because I kind of see it from both sides because on one hand, yes, you can be angry at him for leaving us the way he did under very bitter circumstances and then go and join Chelsea and then be successful for Chelsea, which ultimately coincided with us not being one of the top teams anymore for a period of time. And in addition to that, since leaving Arsenal Football Club, Ashely Cole hasn't really been too kind about us, to put it frankly. He hasn't really been very gracious or even very respectful in the way he's spoken to us. It's changed a little bit recently. I've noticed in interviews lately, now that the dust has settled, now that he's retired, and now you can look back on his career, the tone is a little bit more favourable towards us. But there was also a period of time where he was fully Chelsea. It was almost like he never even played for us. Some of the way he used to go on. I mean, if they would beat us at the Emirates, he'd be celebrating in front of our fans. He'd be saying certain things in interviews that's quite disrespectful and quite bitter towards the club. And I just thought that kind of compounded with how fans felt about him. And obviously, him doing that was probably because the fans, well, understandably, the fans turned against him. They started singing songs about him, and he became a hate figure amongst the Arsenal fans. So he was just kind of dealing with the cards that he was dealt with. But at the end of the day, he caused that situation. So really and truly, how mad can he be? I'm sure you can understand if he leaves his boyhood club where he came through the ranks and the fans loved him and we saw him as one of us. And if you leave the club and join Chelsea, a rival of ours, surely you can understand that the fans are going to feel a certain way about him. So I never really understood why he would feel so bitter at the end of the day. Because he got what he wanted out of the situation. He got trophies, he got He was handsomely paid and well deserved. He deserved the money that he was getting. But yeah, I never really understood like his attitude towards the football club, because it wasn't like the fans didn't do anything to you. You know what I mean? You had an issue with the club who were messing about with your contracts and pulled their offer off the table and offered you less money. That had nothing to do with the fans. And I don't think the fans deserve that. So, yeah, so I'm pretty sure you can understand why the fans vilified him. But on the flip side, it's also the case of, I feel like the club, Arsenal Football Club, did disrespect him. And I felt he was taken for granted. I mean, I read his book when it came out all them years ago, like 2005 actually, like 20 years ago. I read his book back then. I was 17 at the time. And even at the time, I kind of understood where he was coming from. And I still do. Because as a player, you want to feel valued, innit? You want to know that you're appreciated. So when the club that you have grown up at are withdrawing their initial offer that they gave to you, that you requested for no particular reason, and, all right, listen, I know £5,000 is a lot of money, but in football terms, that's not a lot of money. If you pull away the offer that you initially gave and then replace it with another offer of just £5,000 less, I mean, it's not really about the money at that point. It's about respect. And I felt like that was I never understood why that, whoever was behind that decision was a flipping idiot. Like, the old regime did a lot of stupid stuff. And I feel like they was very behind the times. And I felt like they didn't really move with the times. I feel like they had a kind of old school approach. Like, he came through Haylen, so he's a young English player. So naturally we'll put him on less money. And he should be just grateful for the fact that he plays for Arsenal Football Club. When in life, it doesn't work like that, realistically. And someone should have been clever enough to know that at the time. And ultimately, it cost us more than him, really, because we lost the best left back of a generation. And I feel like if we did have Ashely Cole, there would have been a lot more. We'd have been a lot more competitive in that period after he left, if he had stayed. So I do see two sides to it. Would I call Ashely Cole an Arsenal legend? I mean, he wasn't invincible. So I can understand why people would consider him an Arsenal legend. But when you tarnish your legacy like he did, and you completely destroy the rapport you had with the fans and the relationship you had with the fans to the point where they absolutely hate you, we can't really call you a legend anymore, because part of being a legend is your relationship with the club, your relationship with the fans, how fans see you, how you're looked at. And Ashely Cole will never be looked at in a positive manner by a majority of the fan base. So for that reason, I can't really say he's an Arsenal legend, but he should be, technically. I mean, I don't think he'd regard himself as an Arsenal legend because of the fallout. But he's invincible at the end of the day, and that's nothing's ever going to change that. And actually, he actually won more league titles with us than he did with Chelsea. And yeah, nothing's ever going to take that away. I think overall he even won more trophies with us than he did at Chelsea. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame things had to happen the way it did. But at the end of the day, he got a successful career. I mean, for a period of time, we had a successful player that we won titles with. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an ugly situation, and I'm sure as an adult, well, he was an adult then, but I'm sure someone who's more fully grown now will look back at the situation. And I've heard him say this before, actually. Like, he looks back at the situation and he wish it could have been handled a bit differently. But my point is I think there was mistakes made on both sides. I feel like he made a mistake being, because what people forget is that he actually did end up signing a new contract on more money than what he was initially offered. And he did sign that deal. But I feel like the relationship was so strained at that point, and the relationship with the club and the fans had already broken down to a point, because remember there was a whole tapping up scandal. And there was a lot of betrayal that went on. So I think it was hard to move on from that. It's kind of like if your girlfriend or boyfriend cheats on you and you take them back and you just know things won't ever really be the same, no matter how much you want it to be the same. And now I think that's what happened with Ashely Cole and Arsenal. So yeah, man, it's a sad situation, innit? Because he should be an Arsenal legend. He should be. He should have won. I mean, I think if players like him stayed, I feel like it was like a domino effect. I mean, we lost Ashely Cole, and then I feel like then we lost. Eventually, we lost Thierry Henry, not under the same circumstances, but we lost Patrick Vieira as well. Again, not under the same circumstances. So I'm probably using the wrong examples, but I feel like if Ashely Cole stayed, then I feel like we would have been a lot more competitive, and we probably would have challenged. Could have even won the Champions League. To be fair, because having a player like Ashely Cole in your team makes such a whole heap of difference, man. It does. Yeah, and it was kind of a shame that his last game for the club was the Champions League final. I mean, the thing is, if he won that game for us and left on that note, I think he'd more be considered a legend because he won us the Champions League. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, time has passed. Damage is done. But yeah, I think there was mistakes made on both sides. Him for being a little bit hot-headed and probably not handling the situation as best as he could. If he was to do the same thing over again, he probably would still join Chelsea because of the amount of success he had there. But yeah, I think he would have went about things a lot differently. And I feel like if those in charge at Arsenal looked back on it, they would have not withdrawn the contract offer for the sake of £5,000. I think David Dein actually did come out and say that, yeah, it was a mistake that they made and he understands why Ashely Cole felt the way he felt. So yeah, that just says it all, man. Interesting topic. Let me know your thoughts if you're interested in this topic and you want to share what you think with me. If you like the video, press the like button. Click. If you like all my material, click the subscribe button. Like, comment, do all of that, and I'll see you soon.